Liahna from Vitality Vibe, thank you for joining me on my third ever episode of Brite Cast. Thanks for coming. Thanks for coming. So, for the people at home, let's maybe tell a little bit about yourself and how you got into the wellness practicing, massage therapy, and all that stuff.
All right. So I am a mom of 7.
7.
Yep. 25 to 6
Whoa.
are the age ranges. I made a Marine. And I got into massage therapy because my mom told me to.
Okay.
I was actually previously trading the stock market, doing options and Forex. And I loved that. And then I lost everything in 5 minutes in the futures. I was trading futures and I broke my rules.
Oh, no. How much did you lose, if you don't mind?
Nope.
Too much? Okay.
So I threw up.
Okay.
And I was like, I think I need a career change.
Okay. How long have you been doing that?
2 years.
Okay.
Yeah, options were better. I should have just stayed in options.
Yeah.
But
That's quite a blow. So what? So your mother-in-law said to
my mom.
Your mom. Okay.
Yeah. So when I was a kid, at family reunions, my uncles would pay me 50 cents to rub their backs until they fell asleep, and I thought I was really good because they would fall asleep.
Yeah.
And then I realized...
Were they actually falling asleep?
Yeah, but they had been drinking. So it wasn't me.
Yeah. Well, you never know.
Yeah. It was a good ego boost at the time. Yeah.
So when did you start getting into, massage therapy and other wellness stuff?
I started in 2010, I think.
Okay. So going on 15 years?
Yeah, and then I got pregnant with my 5th at the end of school, which really upset my teacher because we couldn't get massages when we were pregnant.
Right. Yeah.
So it threw the balance off in the class.
Yeah.
So, and another classmate of mine also got pregnant. So it was 4 of us that were just twiddling our thumbs for the last hour because we couldn't do anything. We could give massages.
So you normally, you can give them, but you couldn't.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
so
that's actually nice for the other people.
Right. But, massage school was really a lot more challenging than I expected. I did not expect so much of the medical side of it. Learning all of the anatomy and physiology, and every bump and cranny of every bone has a Latin name that you have to memorize. And actions and origins and insertions of all the muscles. It was like, wait a minute,
I just want to be able to get people's knots out of their back.
Like, what? I didn't expect to go to nursing school here.
Yeah.
But we are in Virginia. We are licensed by the Board of Nursing.
Oh, awesome.
So
how long was the schooling?
It was 9 months.
Okay.
And that pretty much just teaches you how not to hurt people.
Right. And how much of the anatomy is it?
It's all of it.
Oh, it's all of it.
Go back to biology in high school. We had to do mitochondria.
It's terrible at that.
It was wait a second.
Yeah.
Why do I need to know digestion? Why do I need to know all of this other stuff?
Well, because, that's how it works, right? It's all connected to each other.
And once you graduate, there's so many different avenues you can take in massage therapy.
And so you just went straight from massage therapy first? Did you go work for somebody else or just went independent?
I actually didn't work until 2017.
Okay.
And then I worked for a wellness center. And I worked there because I met the manager and I really liked her and I wanted to work with her. And so that was my first experience working. There was no other massage therapists really there at the time to guide me.
Okay.
So my first experience with hot towels was I came in for a client and the manager was like, "Oh, I have hot towels for you." And they were sopping wet. I was like, I don't know what to do with this. Thank you though.
It's great, I guess.
Yeah. Because in massage school, they're like, "Oh, they'll teach you how to do that when you wherever you work."
Right.
And so it was a steep learning curve.
Yeah.
I kind of dove in the deep end fairly quickly.
And you didn't have anyone to guide you. So you're almost an entrepreneur at that point, right? Because you have to bring in your own clients, I imagine, too?
Not really.
Or they had people there?
Yeah, the center was only a few months old when I started working there.
Okay.
So they were generating clientele. It wasn't super busy. It did become busy towards the end. I worked there for 2.5 years.
Okay. So almost 2020? 2019?
2019.
Okay.
Yeah.
Pre-COVID?
Yeah.
Before the world ending?
Yeah.
That's actually a good segue. How did that affect the business. Were you an essential employee? Were you? No.
No. So I was, at the time in 2020, I was working for a salon in Stafford. And I was working as an independent contractor for a esthetician in Old Town Manassas. So because I was an employee at the salon and an independent contractor, I didn't qualify for any free money because I didn't make enough money.
Oh, awesome. Isn't that great? Thank you, America.
So you're too poor to get free money.
Yeah.
But I got COVID before the shutdown. And I didn't know it was COVID. So
oh, okay.
I was just exhausted.
So when was that?
It was February.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right when everything was happening. We actually went to Disney World. No one got sick, luckily, but like right before. And then as soon as we got home, like 2 weeks later, everything was shut down.
So as soon as I was fully coming back to work, it shut down.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Perfect.
The day that it shut down, I think I had 12 people scheduled at the salon.
Oh my gosh.
And I was like, I have no idea how I'm going to do this because I was so wiped out. I could only do like 2 or 3 clients a day.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
And I had no idea why.
Yeah.
And then we were
How long did that last for you?
It was a long time.
Yeah. That first wave was like the worst.
Yeah.
I got like, whatever the second one was, Delta or Alpha, Gamma, whatever it was.
I was keeping track.
My wife and I actually got it in Dominican Republic.
Oh, good.
And we got
the fancy kind.
Well, we had 5 days of like a lot of fun. And then we got, which is like oceanfront, pool, everything, walkout, swimming pool. And then when we tested positive for COVID, we couldn't come back to the U.S. So they put us.
Oh, so sad for you.
Well, they locked us in a room. We couldn't leave the hotel room. So it was a real test for our marriage, being stuck with each other.
Made it through that.
So we found ways for like one of the butlers to like bring us a couple beers every night, so at least we could have like a little bit of fun. And we both work from home, so it was like
at least you could still work.
Yeah, still make some money.
Yeah.
So you started with therapeutic massage, and you branched into other things, but like, what took you to massage beyond that? What do you like about it now? How do you like it, helping other people and the benefits of it? And then we'll go into like some of the other stuff that you're doing too.
So I originally in school thought I was going to be prenatal focused.
Okay.
Because my teacher was prenatal and then I wouldn't have to deal with men.
Oh yeah.
So it seems safe, but I actually don't like prenatal massage as much. My clientele has dictated where I've gone in my training because I tend to take continuing education that's going to help me with the issues that my clients are dealing with.
Yeah.
So I also thought I was going to do more of Chinese medicine. So that was my initial focus, was more on the Chinese medicine side. So I do have that.
Like shark fins?
No. It was more like acupressure, shiatsu, tuina, which is like the Chinese massage push and pull, tuina, push and pull. And I still use a lot of that in my practice. So there's certain things that like the body's always telling on itself, especially in Chinese medicine. If you know how to read it, then
it's the most difficult language to read. The actual written language.
It's an art and a science.
Yeah.
So like, for instance, I had a client who loved deep tissue. But when I was working on him, his kidney meridian was very sensitive, the entire kidney meridian.
Yeah.
So I did not go as deep as I normally would. And I told him afterwards, this is why your kidney meridian is sensitive. I don't know what that means. It could mean emotional component, which the kidneys are fear. It could be a physical, like actually kidney, or it could be digestion. It could be so many things. Is that just a
section like of your back that?
No, kidney starts in your feet.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's not directly connected to the actual organ.
Okay.
So kidney starts in your feet, goes up your calf. So a lot of times dehydration and stuff is in the calves because of the kidney meridian. So
when I get like any sort of Charlie horse, it's always in my calf. And it's when I'm super dehydrated. Funny how that works, right?
It's amazing.
But that makes sense though.
Yeah.
With the kidney problem.
So the book that I love is The Web That Has No Weaver, which kind of explains the integration of Chinese medicine and East and West cultures. I think if we blended the two, we'd really have some amazing insights. But so far, it hasn't quite blended.
Yeah, but you're using that. So you're kind of doing.
So, yeah, from that, I transitioned into myofascial release. And then mainly because I wanted to learn how to work in the armpits. Sounded fun to me. I took the class specifically for that. And then I ended up, during COVID, because I had to do my continuing education and everything was online, I stumbled across this group called the Massage Mentor Institute, where they would do jams. So they would take one specific body part and have 8 to 10 of the top instructors in the world.
Oh, cool.
Just do 30 minutes of how they would attack that body part. So the neck jam, the shoulder jam, the back jam, the hip jam. And
what's a jam?
It's just the jam is all of the instructors together.
Oh, okay.
Jamming on that one area.
Okay, cool.
So you got to see a wide variety of different techniques.
From the top people that you might not have access to.
Right, like otherwise. Eric Dalton, who just passed away, who is the grandfather of massage therapy. He's like primo. James Wasowski. Till LaChow, I may have butchered his name. Sorry, Till. Whitney Lowe, and Benny Vaughn. These are all such a wide, diverse, everything from hot bamboo massage to orthopedic massage, which is more manual therapy now. So that's how I discovered James Wasowski, who does orthopedic massage. And he's a little old guy in his 60s and very humble, very, very brilliant. People think he has multiple PhDs.
Oh, wow.
But he has none. He's just
been
very well
doing
studied.
it for 30 or 40 years, maybe?
33, I think. Yeah. So when I saw that he was coming to Virginia to teach classes, I was like, I'm there.
Yeah.
So last year in January was his first class in Virginia in a long time. And he taught 5 last year, and I took all 5. And because he can assess and then narrow down what you need to work on in
you as a practitioner?
Yeah, in 5 minutes, rather than
wow.
Okay, I've got this knot in my back or my shoulder has this twinge and now I've got to throw all the tools that I have.
Yeah, until something kind of works.
Yeah, and then you don't know which one worked, right? Because you kind of did it all.
Yeah.
He does assessment, pinpoints the exact muscle to work on, and then treats it, and then assesses again, so you know immediately.
Oh, and so he teaches you how to do that? That's cool. That's cool. That's probably very useful, too.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, the first class was a fire hose, because he doesn't dumb it down for us.
Right.
Because he also teaches surgeons and chiropractors and physical therapists.
So you have to learn it. So catch up.
So we learned all this anatomy and physiology for school to pass the MBLEX. And then when you're dealing with clients, they don't know anatomy and physiology. So we're talking about...
So you have to learn how to dumb it down for the clients.
Right. And then you don't use it. And then you're like, oh, what? Yeah, I remember vaguely learning about this, but what is this again? Yeah.
So he's been very influential to you. So you've been able to take that to clients, but then you have clients that they're coming to you for all different reasons.
Right.
So having, someone like that as somewhat of a mentor, or at least, the coaching is probably pretty huge.
And he's the one that introduced me to the Dolphin MPS device, which is a DC current, not a TENS unit, AC unit.
What does that mean? What does it do? Does it turn you into a dolphin?
No, it makes sounds. So that's why I think they called it a dolphin.
Okay.
It makes chirping sounds. So it's threefold. It does scar release, which has been so phenomenal for my clients. It does.
Like tissue scarring? Mm-hmm. Okay.
So if you don't deal with the scar tissue, then you can't do any lymphatic drainage.
Okay.
You can't do the massages.
What's an example of a scar tissue?
A lot of time. I mean, it can be anything from C-sections to hip replacements, knee replacements to tattoos or a scar.
Okay. I have a terrible one.
Yeah. Tears. Yeah. If you ever had a tear or even an injury can cause scar tissue. And weightlifting is scar tissue.
Right. Yeah. What else does it take care of?
So it was developed to discover acupuncture points and treat them. So rather than using needles, it uses the DC current. And it's pretty amazing how well it literally finds it, changes the tone, and turns the light off, and then you treat.
Really?
Yeah. So I work with an acupuncturist in Centerville, and so I'll just deepen her treatment. Whatever she did with acupuncture, she tells her clients, and then they come in and
So it just helps you like pinpoint where the real problems are? Huh. That's pretty cool. That's very cool. So, how did you get into like, do you do the energy work stuff or hypnotherapy or, you guys offer a lot of different services. So
I am a Reiki master, but that's not really my thing. So you're going to get Reiki. Yeah. But I don't charge for it and I don't do it specifically.
Okay. Is it just a part of like your massage therapy stuff or just depends on the person maybe and what you're getting from them?
It was mainly in school to learn how to block the energy from a client because when you're touching somebody, there is that transfer.
Yeah.
So you need to learn how to block it, ground it, and reset before the next client.
Okay. So it's more for your own protection, sort of?
But also I can influence energy.
Ooh.
If needed.
Okay.
It's not.
It's not what you
It's not witchcraft.
Yeah. No. I don't believe so. I've had it done on me several times.
You'd be surprised how many people are like, I don't want that witchcraft around me.
I don't think it's that at all. I think it's, in the Bible it talks about laying on hands.
Yes.
Does it not? So, right. What did that mean? That's a whole nother conversation, but
next time.
So, for the hypnotherapy, I don't know if I can be hypnotized. I've been trying some when I sleep, wealth and abundance and prosperity and love and all that sort of stuff, hypnosis stuff, but I don't really know if it's.
Have you ever driven someplace and then realized you're there and you have no idea how you got there?
Yeah, when I drank too much as a 20-year-old.
Okay, sober.
No, but
sober.
A few times.
Then you were in a state of trance, which is hypnotherapy. Okay. You just weren't actively influencing your subconscious.
Okay.
So your subconscious is what controls everything in your life.
Yeah.
And it will never take on anything that it doesn't believe in, right? Yeah. So different than the stage hypnotherapy where people cluck like a chicken, right? Yeah. Those people wanted to cluck like a chicken. They wanted the attention.
Yeah. So that happened. I went on a cruise with a couple friend of ours, and my wife got on stage, and the guy got on stage with 20 other people, and they came and tapped on my wife's shoulder and like, you're not it. Because she wasn't raising her arms or doing any silly stuff.
I'm not participating.
He ended up, playing piano and doing, but he was kind of a show off.
Yeah.
So when you use the, hypnotherapy, what do you use it for? What are the reasons for it? Is it like addictions or, anxiety, all that sort of stuff?
Both of those are huge for hypnotherapy because we're really going in and resetting your thought processes, right? The other part is nerve pain.
Okay.
So I've had a really good success rate with the nerve pain thing, or just getting somebody who is typically an overthinker and stressed out and has trouble relaxing.
Yeah.
Doing a hypnotherapy session before the massage.
Oh, okay. And how long does a session last, typically?
The original one can be up to an hour and a half, but typically it's like 20 minutes after that. Just
kind of to help people relax and get in the right headspace. I read Power of Your Subconscious Mind. Have you heard of that? Mm-hmm. That really, because I've struggled with anxiety on and off over the past 20 years or so. But that, when you deal with anxiety, one, is kind of all about yourself. And then two, it's you just get in these negative thought patterns. And that book really helped me. I still use some of the sayings. I wrote them down in my notes and I go back to them. You just
hypnotherapied yourself.
I mean, kind of. I guess if that's what it is.
Most hypnotherapy is self-hypnosis. It's just I'm the one that's the voice.
Yeah.
You're the one that's decided what you want to work to reprogram
manifest
yourself.
You're right.
Yeah.
I wouldn't use that word, but it's so cliche these days. But I mean, kind of. I went from being overwhelmingly negative, nihilistic about the world to slowly digging myself out of a pit of that when I had no reason to. Life
Right.
was going fine,
Right.
you know, but for whatever reason, I was always focusing on negative stuff instead of like,
Wait, you're human?
yeah.
That's crazy.
I think it kind of runs in my family too, just like to be constantly anxious, like my mom's side of it. Sorry, Mom. They just kind of tend towards that.
And we pick up what our parents have hypnotized us.
Oh yeah. I mean, for sure.
Right?
I didn't think I had any sort of it until, speaking of Red Bulls, I drank 4 Red Bulls one day and I was like trying to lose weight and I wasn't really eating much. And so I had a panic attack at Spider-Man 2, like when I was like 26. And then it's just like, I was just like, you know, I think I just totally screwed over my whole adrenal system and dopamine and all that sort of stuff. So where I was just, for like 6 months, felt like I couldn't swallow. So it would have been nice to have some tools.
Yes. We're not taught that
No.
growing up. We're not taught how to deal with ourselves.
Yeah. Not at all. No. You just get through it, get a job, and move on.
Ignore it.
Yeah.
Drink more.
Yeah, right. Pretty much. I mean, that's what I was taught in college. So do you know, with having 7 kids, obviously it's got to be time consuming. How is like the work-life balance? Is that part of the reason that you went into a little bit more flexible of a career?
That was my mom's thought process.
Yeah.
She thought I would be flexible for the kids, but it turns out it's not as flexible as we had hoped because you have to work when the clients can come in, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of times it's nights and weekends. That's when most massage therapists do most of their business, unless you're working on people who
have flexible schedules as well.
Yeah.
Right.
So and now my clientele is such that during the day I tend to get more booked.
Oh, that's good.
And then
That probably took a while from...
I have a few nights and a few weekends.
Yeah.
But, you know, most of my kids are now adults.
Mm-hmm. So they can take care of themselves.
And in theory, they can take care of each other, but they all have jobs now, which is really annoying. So they're not always available. But so I only have 3 that are still minors. Mm-hmm. But sometimes they come to work with me and they like it.
Yeah. Just hang out at the shop.
Yeah.
get on your iPad or whatever.
Yeah.
And
I went to work with my mom.
Yeah.
But she worked in a health food store, so it was a little different.
A little bit different. But still, see, the thing, you know, speaking of like iPads, I don't think I would have been bored as a kid. Do you remember being bored?
Well, I had to live in the woods most of my childhood or the library.
You lived in the woods?
I mean, I was of
like a little hut?
the 80s, right? So we were sent outside and I lived in the middle of nowhere, like farm country, Catskill Mountains, upstate New York.
Oh, okay.
So it was like, see you. And if you're going to be in the house, you're going to be cleaning. And I didn't want to clean.
No. Don't
so
do that. Go build a fort or something and climb some trees.
Just... Yeah.
It's not a bad
wander
way to
the
live.
woods for the whole day and then come home for dinner.
Yeah, we did that a lot too. We had our grandparents had 20 acres across town in Manassas where there was all just dirt roads.
Back in the day.
Yeah, so we just, we would just go out and not come back until nightfall.
Exactly.
Pretty much. We didn't have to worry about serial killers and stuff.
Well, I mean, they would have to find me first.
Yeah, right, exactly. Can you climb this tree? I don't think you can.
I was good at not being found.
Yeah.
So
that's awesome.
Best of luck to you on that one. But
So, have you had any like really significant success stories from the stuff that you're doing? Maybe in the past year or two? Okay.
My favorite one is a client of mine who's in her 60s. 38 years ago, she was in a really terrible car accident in her 20s. And they had to use Jaws of Life to pull her out. She was in the Navy at the time. So they took her to the ER. Her pelvis was shattered. Oof. Her talus bone, which is your ankle bone, was disintegrated, basically. Chunks out of her leg. So the ER did the best they could to fix her. And then the Navy was like, guess what? Now it's our turn. And they went back and redid everything.
Oh, no.
And they made an ankle bone out of her hip. And so she was in so much pain.
When was this? What year was this?
In
roughly?
The 80s.
Oh, gosh. Okay.
Yeah. It was barbaric.
Yeah.
So she was in so much pain, and they basically told her, you're probably never going to walk again, and you might not even live. Best of luck.
After you messed up the surgeries. Yeah. Great. Yeah. Perfect.
And so they put a nerve blocking device in her spine, which is the most painful thing she's ever experienced in her life, worse than the car accident, to just block the pain so that she could walk. It didn't completely take it away. It just dampened it enough that she could push through, right? So she lived like that until like 2020. When I opened my own practice.
30-some years.
Yeah, I opened my own practice. And then she came to me with a booklet of surgeries and was like, wow, can you please work on me because no one will touch me because I'm such a high risk situation. But I know massage therapy will work because I had one in Las Vegas that did amazing work. So I was like, I will work on you as long as you promise to communicate with me everything.
Yeah.
Like, and when I first started working on her, I could barely even lay my hand on her leg.
Oh, wow.
Without her flinching in pain. She had no movement in her foot. Her toes had not moved. It was like a solid block. So she had a special shoe, and she just compensated for it.
Yeah.
And last year when I started doing the dolphin and I started doing nerve pain hypnotherapy on her, where I would record it and then play it during the session, she now moves her toes.
Oh, wow.
She's turning off her nerve device, thinking about having it removed entirely.
Wow.
There's so much scar tissue that we just kind of take one bit at a time. I wish I had taken pictures before. Yeah. Honestly, because it was so bad before. And but
you don't want to like embarrass someone, right?
She wouldn't be embarrassed. Yeah. And she probably has
in the beginning, maybe because you didn't have that reputation really yet. I don't know.
It's really like exploded our relationship because I'm working on parts of her now that I've never worked on before because of the scar tissue.
Yeah. And the dolphin is like breaking it up. Are you able to find it better?
Her swelling is down because it's the lymphatic drainage. All the fluids are able to move freely.
Yeah.
And the scar tissue is resolving. I mean, it's been there for 38 years. So she comes in every week and we work on.
Oh, weekly. Okay.
Yes.
For how long so far?
Well, since 2020.
Oh, wow.
She took a year off because her mom moved in with her and she bought a house in Stafford.
Yeah.
So she drives from Stafford.
Wow. Because no one else will do it and no one else has had any success. That's
she tried somebody else down there and it was not the same. So,
well, I mean, that's got to be very rewarding too. I mean, you're changing someone's quality of life completely.
Absolutely. Yeah. And that's why I do it, honestly, because that's the most drastic story, but it's not unique, right? So I've had clients who retired and realized that they couldn't do the things that they wanted to do in their retirement because they hadn't taken care of themselves.
Yeah.
I have a lot of younger people now in the IT profession who are like, I don't want to be like my parents.
Yeah.
So I'm going to
And they're sitting all the time.
Yeah. Sitting is killing us.
Yeah.
It really, really
is.
That's
why my shoulders are all screwed up, which I got to talk to you about offline. I went to PT for it. It's snapping scapula or whatever it's called. And it helped a little bit, but I think the biggest thing was like, I needed to break up the tissue and then get it strong. They were doing some small, 5 minutes of therapy and they tried the cupping. That was the thing that worked the best, to be honest, out of the things they did. But it didn't stick, 3 months later, it was exactly how it was before. So I think without having some sort of, actual release of the whatever it is scar tissue or is it just?
It's probably a combination of scar tissue and your joint capsule needs to be hydrated and positionally released.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Positional release of the articular ligaments is key for shoulders because it's all articular ligaments.
Yeah.
So I'm actually working with a PT now. And because of a knee surgery that went bad, he had his knee surgery, the client of ours had his knee surgery in September and had zero mobility. It was actually losing mobility and reached out to me to see if I could work on him. And through the I've only done scar release work with cupping and red light therapy on him. And it's been such a huge improvement that his PT reached out to me to work with me.
There you go.
Because I'm not a doctor.
Right.
So massage therapy has a little bit more flexibility and freedom to do more cutting edge practices.
Right.
As long as the massage therapist is educating themselves and growing and learning and not staying stagnant, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Whereas doctors and PTs, they don't have a lot of time with you. They just don't because of the way that the healthcare system is set up. And they are restricted in what they can actually bring to you. So this particular PT was like, I have the dolphins at home. I can't use them at work.
It's a legality thing?
It's a Canadian device. So it's not been like mainstreamed, right?
Right.
Yet. It will be.
Right.
And they'll probably tell
me I can't use it just
anymore.
because they're taking insurance?
Yeah.
And insurance won't cover?
Or just the practice itself, right? Because he doesn't own the practice. He works for somebody else.
Yeah.
So he's being dictated what he can and can't do. So we can move a little bit faster and more cutting edge and we have more time with you. We have 60 to 90 minutes with you. So
yeah, when I was doing PT, I mean, nothing rude towards them, but they would do a little bit of stuff on my back and then, send me to do a couple exercises. It wasn't a lot.
Probably didn't watch you do them either.
Not usually. They were talking to each other, and then occasionally one was like really good, but some of the other ones they're like especially that, like as I did it for I don't know 8 or 10 weeks, and once they knew that I kind of was getting the exercises, they were like, yeah, go do this.
But so the other problem is that their books are outdated by the time they graduate. Because it's so expensive to print the books.
Yeah.
So a lot of the things that they're doing are not necessarily beneficial, but the education hasn't caught up to the research.
Yeah.
Right? So they should never be stretching you beyond what you can take.
Right.
And I've had frozen shoulder situations where I got the shoulder mobile again. They went to PT and it froze again.
Oh, awesome.
So it's a love-hate for me on those, and my goal is to impact that, I don't know the word, area of medical expertise in a positive way so that we can work more tandem and create an actual
healthy people.
Yeah. Because ultimately,
not have so many regulations.
Ultimately, those things are dictated by the insurance companies.
Yeah.
You only get so many sessions and you're required to do those sessions or,
Right. And then it still probably doesn't work.
Sometimes it does,
Sometimes
which is
it
why
does.
they keep doing it, right?
Yeah.
But sometimes it doesn't. Whereas I have a little bit more flexibility and I have more tools in my toolbox.
Right.
So I can...
And you're more invested too. Like it's someone that has a regular PT practice. Like, are they as motivated to stay on top of cutting edge stuff anyway?
I guess it depends on the person.
As long as they're getting the money from the insurance, like,
I mean, when I did PT over the summer, my PT was still a resident. She hadn't even graduated yet. And so when she was graduating, she was going to go somewhere else.
Why do you even need PT? Couldn't you do it yourself?
Well, I needed it because of insurance.
Oh, okay.
Because of the car accident.
Yeah.
I was hit by a landscaping truck.
Ooh. Do we want to tell the company name?
I don't even remember the company name. But I felt terrible because he was like 25, but he was fully loaded with fuel. And we were on 28, and he couldn't stop. And he hit me.
Oh, no.
And so I had a concussion and whiplash. And then I fell down some stairs.
Did it total your car?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, perfect.
Oh, yeah.
Great.
So
that was on 20. Where on 28?
In Midland.
Oh, in the middle of nowhere. Yeah.
Yeah. It was like a blind corner.
Oh, dude.
It was great.
Was that your first accident?
Oh, gosh, no. No.
Others are your fault?
When I was
I've never been in it.
When I was pregnant, I tended to to get into accidents.
Little distracted. That's not the best time to be getting in accidents.
Well, your brain shrinks when you're pregnant.
Does it really?
Yeah, it's a clinical proven fact.
Okay.
It does come back, I'm told.
I'm not the guy saying that. You're a woman.
No, it does shrink 6%.
Really?
I think. Yeah.
Huh.
So
just
that's
because of so much blood
brain.
flow and stuff?
Well, pregnancy brain is like a real thing, right?
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Huh. So it's not all of them were my fault, but yeah, it wasn't my first one, but it was my first one not pregnant.
well, and it's not your fault too. So that's so he T-boned you?
He rear-ended me.
Okay.
And I knew it was coming, so I was looking in the rearview mirror. So I went
bracing for impact.
Yeah.
Ugh, that's terrible.
Yeah.
So we met. I don't even remember now. It's been like 2 years ago, maybe 2.5. Where was it?
At the social collectives.
Oh yeah, at the Prince William one,
yeah.
right? Yeah.
Back when it was like 20 people.
Yeah, now it's like exploded. So how you do a lot of networking and stuff. How do you think that's like changed your business, grown it? How do you think that plays a role currently?
Honestly, a lot of my clients have come from networking. I didn't really understand it. I started networking long before I started my business. Just because my best friend was networking, and so she was like, "Come do this with me," and I almost left my first meeting before I even got in there because it was just too many people. I don't know what to do.
Yeah. Well, you seem at home now when, gotten used to it, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's face your fear thing.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely. The more you do it, the less scary it is. Yeah.
And it's still, if there's a new group, I might be a little nervous, but.
I mean, at this point, you probably know one or two people in any room in Northern Virginia that does networking.
I mean, after my stint this summer leading the collectives, I just focused on my chamber meeting. Yeah. Honestly, because that's where I've gotten the most business. Yeah. Right? Because it's a family. It's the biggest networking group in the Prince William County. But it is really a family, and they will support you and cheer for you.
How many people is it?
I think it's 50.
Oh wow!
But not all 50 ever always show up, right? Yeah. We would pack the brewery. Yeah, we did.
How and it's every week.
It's every.
I gotta start going. I met the director of community engagement. Eugene was his name. I met him at Meredith House. Yeah. He seemed super nice. I'm like, all right, I gotta do it. There's so many people that are in the chamber that I don't know.
Well, the chamber is very big, and a lot of people in the chamber don't do the networking events because it is seat specific. Ours is a little bit more casual, where we do have multiple people that have agreed to work together, right? So they may overlap, but one will just focus on one thing or the other thing. Yeah. So we're a little bit more casual on that side.
Yeah. So all right. So we talked about tacking on different services and stuff. What do you see for like your future growth and like other services or growth of what you're currently doing? What do you see over the next couple of years?
I'm really getting pulled more into the medical side. Okay. And the post-surgical because so many people are having surgeries now.
Yeah. My dad had a big back surgery last year.
And they're not taught how to take care of the recovery afterwards, right? Yeah. And a lot of times the PT and the injections are not what they need or not enough, right? So I've had such great success with that's where I'm moving towards more so, and it's a shorter session. And then hiring more practitioners to build out my practice so that we can have a bigger location. That's always been the plan. Yeah. Bigger location, multiple locations. And I'm okay if that doesn't happen right away. Right. But
yeah, I mean, to build something, it's you want to do it right. Yeah. I was just talking to my cousin on the last episode, and he's a cabinet maker, but it's not good to grow your business if you're not ready to grow. So, you might need trainings or SOPs, for whoever you bring on. So until you have time to do that,
and running a business and working in the business is time consuming.
Yeah, I know.
And then you get into this point where you're like, I really need to hire people to do stuff that I don't need to do, but then I don't have the money to hire people to do the stuff. Yeah. And so then you're overwhelmed doing all of it.
Is there anything that like a VA could handle for you?
I've tried VAs on a few different occasions. I really need in person because I need people, we're client facing, right? So.
Yeah. I mean, that makes sense.
And a lot of the VAs don't want to sit home and just wait for the phone to ring.
True.
So they're like, I'll check it once or twice a day. And I'm like, oh, that's not really what I was expecting.
Right.
Or the one in the Philippines that I had was like, I can answer phone calls until 9 a.m. And I was like, that doesn't work for me either.
Yeah. I mean, how many calls are you getting at?
No.
Yeah. So there actually is, in the CRM, there's a new voice AI. Have you seen that?
That's actually why I contacted you. Remember? No, you don't remember.
No.
That's actually why I contacted you. Originally was the AI.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, they rolled it out now, so it's conversation AI and voice AI, and it's actually pretty good. So we might want to test it out for you to see. Just you can turn it on whatever your hours are.
Yeah.
And then if someone does call, you can train the AI to just try to get their information, and you can choose through 30 or 40 different voices. Some of them are kind of cheesy sounding, but some of them are pretty good. And then you just train it to try to get the information from the person and book a call, or at least you get their information.
Right. Or why they're calling.
Yeah. I mean, you can make it more intense, but that's kind of all you really want if someone's calling after hours anyway. Because if you had a call center, you're going to be paying them, I don't know, even if it's Philippines, $4 an hour.
Well, and even when I'm during hours, right? If I'm in session, I'm not answering phone calls.
Yeah, true.
So there have been times when people have called to say that they're running late or to say that they couldn't make it, and I'm in a session.
Yeah.
So
that would be good to. We'll have to test that out for sure. So what do you do for building lasting relationships, keeping clients? Is there anything specific, or is it just you're good at what you do? I'm
good at what I do.
Yeah.
And everybody is treated like they're the VIP client, right? Mm-hmm. And because most of them are, right? I very rarely have clients where I'm like, please don't come back.
Yeah. That's the ones you did the Reiki on the most. Yeah.
That's the ones where I'm like, and we're done.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nope, we're not going to talk about rebooking. But my clients have become my friends.
That's great.
And in school, you're taught not to do that because ethically you need to keep your boundaries. And the theory is that if they're your friends, then they're going to take advantage of you and want longer sessions or not pay or whatever. And I have not had that experience at all.
Right. Well, if you don't know how to set proper boundaries and you attract terrible friends, then that could happen.
Right. But because also I started my business originally in 2020 when nobody else was working and nobody else was seeing other people, right? So from 2020 till even 2022, for the majority of my clients, I was the only physical person that they saw and that touched them.
Wow.
And so that changed the dynamic and made it more of a friendship type of situation. And even family, I have amazing clients.
That's awesome.
So
it's better, it's quite a blessing, especially when it is such an intimate sort of situation. I have great clients too, but I don't have to touch them.
Right. Exactly.
I just shake their hand, know, so that's not, but to be having to,
Well, and if you think about it, when you're on the massage table, you're in a state of nakedness, right? Whether you keep your underwear on or whatever.
Right.
And I always say undress to your comfort level. And I've had people come in and work out stuff and they're like, this is my comfort level. And I'm like, okay, we'll figure it out.
Right.
But it is a power dynamic shift, right? So for me to be vulnerable with my clients evens the playing field.
Yeah.
A lot. And so they don't feel as uncomfortable.
Right.
And I have had a lot of clients who are like, I don't like people touching me, but this was great. I'll be back.
It's going to be tough then.
Well, no, they tell me afterwards. They're like, oh, I don't like people touching me, but this was great.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, well, thanks.
What do you think makes that turn? Is it just because you're bringing down their walls a little bit through conversation, or
Most of what I do is to calm the nervous system.
Yeah.
Whether it's hypnotherapy, I generally start my sessions with breathing, a couple deep breaths in, inhaling peace and calm, exhaling any stress and tension. But then I'm really working on the vagus nerve.
Which is where?
Goes through your neck. Oh. But it goes into your gut, and it's the stress or lack of stress center, right? So
I'm always stressed when I go to Vegas.
Maybe it's named
stress
athlete,
coming home.
But the entire, if I can't calm your nervous system and put you in a state of relaxation,
it's gonna be tight the whole time.
Yeah, there's no point in. People come in and they're like, oh, I want deep tissue. I'm like, do you want deep tissue or do you want maximum pressure? Because culturally, we have been taught that deep tissue means max pressure, but the more pressure I apply, if you're not relaxed, your body will subconsciously shut me out. And it's like Ooblex, right? Like, you don't have kids, so you don't know what Ooblex is. But Ooblex is cornstarch and water.
Okay.
And so with Ooblex, if you hit it with force, it is a solid.
Okay.
If you go in slowly, you can sink and it's a liquid. And it's the same with your muscles.
Okay.
So the slower I go in, the deeper I can get. And the more relaxed you are, the deeper I can get.
So people probably just think deep tissue is maximum pressure.
That is what they think.
Yeah.
They're like, you can go harder. I'm like, I can. You're right.
Yeah. It's really about what's going to...
I'm going to hurt you.
Yeah.
You're going to be
That's what I want.
This is not maybe the place for you then.
Yeah. I mean, when you've been... But sometimes, like, when you've been in pain for so long and then just like huge knots, like that's the only thing that kind of feels good because it feels like it's getting it out, even though it might not be doing the right thing.
We're making it worse tomorrow.
Right. Yeah. But, bruised and everything.
Or a lot of times what I found is they can't feel it because their muscles are so hypertonic that the nerves are not firing, right? So the signals aren't getting to your brain that hurts because the muscles are so tight. So
it's just going to bruise you or whatever afterwards, potentially.
Or exhaust me for no reason, right? Like, I'm not into that.
Right.
I want to be effective, not, over here. And I have a lot of bodybuilder clients or powerlifter clients that are like, that's a lot of tissue to work through in an hour, hour and a half, even 2 hours.
Right.
So I want to be effective.
Right.
And I've had a client, and I love her to death. She would always be like, just have your way with me. Just have your way with me. And I'm like, I've been having my way with you for 30 minutes and nothing's happened. So then I do something gentle and then...
Oh, then she calms down and then, So how long does it take for you to kind of figure out what's going on with somebody? Like,
the first session is always exploratory, right? Yeah. Because I'm trying to figure out what works for you.
Because they could say a pain is in one place, but there could be because of something else.
Generally, it's somewhere else.
Yeah.
Almost all the time.
The pain, like for me, it might be the pain is in my shoulders, but it might be something.
It's your pecs.
Yeah.
Your pecs are tight.
My pecs are tight.
Your pecs are tight.
Tight pecs. That's what they call me in college.
But what's happening is that your rhomboids and all of those muscles in your back are overstretched. So picture like they're holding for dear life and they're stretched. Yeah. Right. So they're not getting any relief, which is why they hurt. Right. But it's because your pecs are tight and they're pulling it in.
And that's from 20 years of Montgomery Burnsing over a computer. And I know that.
And you're not doing the get the pizza, take the pizza, share the pizza.
What?
Stretch. Keep your elbows in.
Well, that's one of the things they had me
do.
So I do continue to do some of the things they told me, but I think it needs to be in conjunction with breaking up the fascia or whatever.
Right.
Because if I move my shoulder, it's crickling and crackling all the time.
Of course.
So I got to get that done. We'll schedule that.
You're going to be the Tin Man. Otherwise, it's fine.
Yeah. And I don't, if I don't do it now, what's it going to be like in another 10 years? So I don't want to have that happen. So you use our Brite Leads CRM. How do you use it and what do you use it for? Everyone uses for different things,
I mean, originally I came for the text back, right? Because I am my own person.
Yeah, exactly.
I needed to at least reach out to people who were contacting me. Mm-hmm. And then I started looking at it and I was like, oh man, this stuff can do everything.
Right.
So starting to build out all of the the bookings and the...
Yeah. And you have your website too,
Yes,
which is great.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I like that I can edit it.
Yeah. And you do it yourself too, if you want to.
I don't have to wait for you.
Have you thought about doing like the automated birthday texts and stuff like that to offer people like discounts and everything?
I have not. I did not know that was a...
Yeah, we can build it out for you.
Yeah.
As long as you have that information, which I'm assuming you probably do for most people, because you need to know their age and stuff when they sign up.
Yeah,
probably.
it's nice to know. But it's not...
I mean, even just saying happy birthday.
Right.
It's automated from you.
Right.
I think that would be nice for clients to have. There's a bunch of stuff like that I'm learning about that can be implemented. So I'll just need to get with you and just build it out for you so it's done. Yeah. And then, when they fill out a form or something, or are you getting that in your current massage book, that information?
The birthdays, yes.
Okay.
Massage book, I don't...
Yeah.
A lot of the automatic stuff you can't edit.
Oh, okay.
Which I don't like.
So how many clients do you have right now? Roughly.
Monthly?
Yeah.
Like 54.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
And then just like how many one-off people per month, roughly?
I would have to run the
report for it?
Or the report, but I think new clients I usually get about 4 or 5. And of those new clients, primarily they come in at least for 3 more sessions.
Mm-hmm. I think it might be cool to do like a video of maybe that lady, if she wouldn't mind being on camera, like a success story.
Yeah.
And use that for promoting and everything. I mean, I'm going to give you whatever clips I get from this as well for free stuff to promote both of us, right?
Right.
But I think having something like that, because that's an amazing story, and if she wouldn't mind being quickly interviewed for it.
I have another client too who would probably be open to it. He started coming in 2020 because he couldn't find a psychiatrist.
Okay.
Nobody was booking anything. And so he was like, well, I know massage is like relaxing. So he just came for that. And his back was spasming.
Yeah.
And then he keeps coming because it was such a profound experience for him. And
just the massage part, or just you talking through things and hypnotherapy?
We didn't do a whole lot of hypnotherapy, but we usually just generally my clients decompress for like the first 5 minutes. They get there early. Mm. They decompress. They tell me all the things that are stressing them out in their lives.
So you are a bit of a therapist.
Yeah.
As not just massage.
I don't provide constructive criticism so much, but I am
it's kind of getting the stress out of them so they can relax to do the massage part of it? Okay.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of my clients do consider me a therapist in some sort of way. Because it's a safe space, because number one, I can't talk about it, right? Mm-hmm. Whatever they said.
Part of the license for... Mm-hmm. Okay.
Whatever they say in the session stays in the session. Even husbands and wives that come in.
Okay.
Like, they don't even talk. Like, they don't even tell each other, because I'm like, oh, so-and-so was in last week. Did they tell you blah, blah, blah? And they're like, no, we don't talk about our sessions. I'm like, okay.
Okay, well.
Well, to reiterate the story. But because it is a safe space, and because they are comfortable and they do trust me, a lot of stuff comes out. So, and I always say that in networking as well. Like, the reason why you want to network with a massage therapist is because we know about things that are going to happen before they happen, like divorces.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
Moves, or they'll come to me and ask me about window shades or landscaping or home stuff. So because they trust me, they want to know if I have somebody that I trust to go to.
Yeah.
And so, it's...
So you have your own like little referral business.
I do. I have a bulletin board with all your business cards.
Oh, there you go. Perfect. That's good for me.
Yep.
So what are you doing for marketing stuff? Is it really just mostly networking?
Yeah, I do run Facebook ads because I took a class, I think last year, like an online class of how to effectively do Facebook ads for cheaper, like $5 a day.
Yeah.
And so whenever I run those ads...
for like certain services, or like discounts on services, or...
There's 3 different ads that I run. There's like a brand recognition one that's just like, hey, this is who we are and what we do and where we are.
Yeah.
And then there's the discount one. And then there's like an educational topic. I think I'm still running the deep tissue video, which is a demo of the Ooblex.
Okay.
So to educate people on like what deep tissue really is versus not. And so, and then also the networking people and all of my clients have come out in force, especially on places like Prince William County Chatter.
Yeah.
So that's been amazing.
Yeah.
And
Western Prince William Chatter, that one? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a huge group.
Yeah.
I mean, I've gotten a lot of business from there. They're in the Loudon Social Collective and Loudon Community Group. There's a few different ones that, you know, when I went full time like in late 2020 because I lost my job that I was working for because of COVID. So they had to downsize, which was great. But they, you know, just do it through networking in those groups is how I was able to like stay afloat and create an actual business out of stuff and not have to go work for somebody else, which
exactly.
Now I work for myself more than I would work for somebody else. but
so you left 9 to 5 to work 24/7.
Yeah, exactly. You know, so I'm going to try to, that's one of the goals this year is to be able to hire out more people. And for me, VAs are working decently.
Well, if you can
do certain
work
tasks
remotely, then yeah, it's totally different.
Right. So do you have any like things that you're going to do to streamline? You said you're going to hire more people. What does that look like timeline wise? Or I imagine it's finding the right people that have the same goals as you.
Even more so than that right now. It never used to be an issue to hire massage therapists. But now most massage therapists who are graduating want to run their own business.
Yeah.
And they don't want to work for somebody else. And if they do, they're going to go with a big name company, even if they don't get paid as much because they have more benefits.
What kind of licenses or whatever would they have to have? Just their standard massage therapy license?
Yeah, massage therapy license and insured. So we have our own insurance.
Yeah. So would they kind of be their own LLC working underneath you?
Independent contractors are kind of going away. So we're moving more into employees.
Actual W-2.
But you still need to have your own.
Yeah, because if you mess it up,
liability.
It's on you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
what's that?
I have workman's comp.
Yeah.
But that's not the same.
Right.
And then
how much is the insurance?
It's not that much.
Yeah.
Depends on where you go.
How much do you have to have?
Most of them are pretty much the same. I think it's usually about $30 a month. It's not expensive.
It's not.
So I have a different one that's like an unknown brand because of the hypnotherapy. There's only one that covers hypnotherapy and massage therapy.
In case someone like does a hypnotherapy thing and then crashes their car afterwards, or what exactly would that?
I don't know, but I gotta have it. So,
have you had any hypnotherapy like addiction issue, like success stories or anything?
I haven't really focused on addiction yet.
Yeah.
I'm doing one for quitting smoking for my best friend in New York.
Like a test subject?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's expensive there to smoke.
Yeah. Well, it's expensive anywhere nowadays. I mean, I being in bands and stuff, I wanted to like be a singer.
Yeah.
And when I was 18,
you're good at singing.
Yeah. And that's why I never smoked.
Okay.
So I went to...
That's hilarious because my dad sings and he smokes. And he
I probably should have. I'd have a much cooler, raspier voice at this point. You know, like Post Malone's all raspy and everything. So I should have, but I wanted to have like a nice, clean voice. So I went to JMU for like a block party when I was 18 or 19.
Yeah.
And I smoked like 3 packs of cigarettes that night because I didn't
you
know.
For your whole life in one night.
Yeah, exactly. And I couldn't talk for like 3 days. And I was like, if I have goals to do music, then I can't be a smoker. And it didn't really like do anything for me.
So right there, you programmed your subconscious that you're not ever going to be a smoker.
Yeah. I mean, I've tried some Zins or whatever, and those are, but that's not like nothing with my throat.
Yeah.
So I just never, luckily never wasted any money on smoking. I'm like the only person out of my friend group that never struggled with it.
Well, there's addictions. All addictions are really just an emotional need that you're covering up with the substance, right?
Yeah.
So even alcohol, drugs, cigarettes, food. Food is a big addiction.
Right. But people, they disguise it because, well, I have to eat.
Well.
But you don't have to eat zebra cakes or Nutty Buddies.
Or an entire loaf of bread in one sitting.
Yeah. What kind of bread, though?
Homemade, obviously.
Okay. Olive oil, pesto.
Right, exactly. But it's not even what you eat, it's why you're eating it. So if you're treating yourself or you're doing it to rebel against whatever, it's all emotional. There's always an emotional hole somewhere.
Component behind it.
If we've made it to an adulthood, we've probably developed something.
Yeah, I mean, I was definitely I think that's why I drank a lot for a while, because I was a sugarholic. So I pretty much in college just replaced sugar with a different type of sugar.
Liquid.
Yeah. I didn't really have any cravings for, treats or anything anymore because I was getting all my sugar from drinking alcohol. I gained I was 210 and I'm 185 now. So it's 25 pounds overweight.
Just from drinking.
Well, I was eating hot dogs and spaghetti and I was drinking a 12-pack of beer a night.
Well, beer will do it.
Yeah.
Every time.
But it was light.
Oh,
beer.
Yeah, you and my ex-husband should talk.
Yeah.
he drinks Miller Lite because it's a light beer. And I'm like...
But it's still empty calories for, I probably, whatever.
When you drink 18 of them a night,
it's
not light anymore.
Yeah, it's not light anymore. It's, 5,000 calories, empty calories. And then you probably eat something terrible.
Yes.
Order Taco Bell.
Yes.
Once the sheets... they opened sheets down and I went to JMU, so Harrisonburg, and they started taking credit cards.
Oh, no.
It was all over.
Oh,
It was over at that point.
See, I can't even eat that stuff.
Well, I don't anymore, but, that was almost 20 years ago.
Yeah. Something shifted when we started doing keto.
Yeah.
During 2020, and I used to love Popeyes. It makes me so disgusted.
Are you still eating mostly keto now, or?
No, I will be.
You will be?
I will be. I'm going back on it.
Okay.
But yeah, I took a break from it.
Yeah, it can be a lot.
I really like pasta.
I know. But you could be keto. I mean, keto focused. Who cares about whether you're actually in ketosis or not? Who really cares about that? But if you're eating more lean meats and, polyunsaturated fats or whatever
vegetables.
It is. Yeah. Is it polyunsaturated? Monounsaturated. One of those.
Well,
avocados,
eat
whatever.
the good things. Yeah.
Yeah. My wife and I did, we read the Primal Blueprint, which is essentially the same.
It's similar.
Yeah. It's like paleo sort of stuff. And I lost probably 15 pounds in 3 months from just doing that and then not drinking,
Keto is the only thing that had me lose my stomach fat.
Oh, really?
Because after 7 kids,
yeah,
my body was just in the mode of being pregnant.
Right. Yeah.
And I was not ever one of those people that got really skinny breastfeeding because I breastfed all of them for 2.5 years. So I was either pregnant or breastfeeding for 20 years.
20 years, yeah.
And so I would keep 10 to 15 pounds just at all times.
Right.
When I did keto, I got so skinny. I was down to 109 pounds.
Oh, wow.
And people were like, have you been tested for
okay?
cancer recently? Yeah. Should you see a doctor?
Are you eating?
How are you alive?
Did you feel good, though?
Well, I was also doing long COVID, so.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what was what, right?
How long do you think the symptoms of COVID lasted for you?
2 years.
Jeez.
I ended up going to see Gainesville.
Did you lose your taste and everything, too?
No, but the third time I got COVID, everything fried, so Chick-fil-A was my only fried stuff, tasted like peppermint. That is disgusting.
Were you dipping it in their peppermint shake?
Nope.
Wow, that's strange.
Yeah. It was just... The spicy chicken sandwich is not good when it tastes like peppermint.
No, I imagine not. Oh, my gosh. That's such a weird...
Yeah. And so I never lost taste or smell. I had headaches. So I was getting headaches once a month and flu symptoms once a month that would always happen on my days off.
Oh, when you want to relax? Perfect.
And occasionally on the days when I did have to work, but it was so consistent that I was like, this is not normal.
So did you test for it? Did you test for it?
I've never tested positive for COVID.
but the symptoms are 100%.
Everybody
That's
else
the
in my
thing,
family
too.
would get COVID and test positive, and I would test and I would not test positive.
There's a lot of like false negatives. So on that Dominican trip that we did, we went with our friends, and it was their 10th anniversary. Another couple was there, and she said to put a bunch of chapstick
In your nose?
up our nose and Vaseline and stuff, because when they do the swab, it would get that, and that they got away with it. We tried to do it, but my wife was like, she was hacking up lungs.
Oh, no.
She was terrible. She was the first of us to get it, but everyone, all 10 people on the trip, got it. So that was fun. But we're the only ones that had to stay in Dominican for a week.
Well, there's worse places to stay.
Well, we ended up, we got released, but we couldn't get a flight. So we just went to another resort for 3 days and recovered on the beach.
Such a terrible life.
Yeah, it was tough. It was tough. If we had to do it. Yeah. All right. So, I appreciate you coming out. We've got a little over an hour. Is there anything you want to plug other than, I'll put everything in the bottom of the main video, but
still working on my podcast.
Yeah, well, maybe this will be a little motivation for you.
Waiting for somebody to finish the website.
Well, it's done.
Okay.
It's done. So we just need to go over it.
Okay.
And make sure everything's there, and then just take that snapshot and put it into your Brite Leads, and
all right,
it's good to go. All right, awesome. Well, thank you for coming.
You
appreciate it. Episode 3 in the books.